Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt. Also is the Ammo Nerd. We have an ammunition review today because that's why you're here. You're looking for that cold, hard data. If you ever find something online you want to know about a particular ammunition type, you can usually head right on over here to the range and usually I'll have something about it. This is our 300 Blackout 200 grain from Winchester super suppressor. It is an open tip range subsonic. Let's throw this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. Now, in full transparency, I myself purchased this ammunition from Palmetto State Armory. I do have an active affiliate set up with them, but they did not provide this ammunition for me. But up first, we'll start with our shortest barrel length. This is our 7.5-inch upper from Palmetto State Armory. It has a 1-in-7 twist barrel. If you guys know of any economical places that have a 1-in-5 twist upper that I can pick up, I would love to do that because pretty much every time I do precision accuracy testing with our Subsonic, the group size at 100 yards is always abysmal and everyone always comments, hey, you need to use a faster twist rate. So drop a comment below so where I can get one of those. We're also using CMMG's new 030 suppressor. Now, I want to rewind one of the clips here after we shoot it, but when watching a lot of videos online, different types of cameras or specifically microphones have different cuts for where the decibels exceed their range and they'll cut the sound. So you may get false expectations of what the suppressor sounds like. So we'll take the first main clip with the microphone Sennheiser that's on my shirt here. I do believe this is rated to 130 decibels. And then we have a Sony camcorder that's the B-roll that's about 8 o'clock off to my left. And you can hear what that sounds like for a difference. A lot of times if I'm doing any shorts, I'm recording off of my iPhone, I think 14 Pro, and I think that might cut at 120 decibels. In a prior video, we did confirm that these bullets are stabilized, meaning that when we shoot them at a target at 15, 10 yards, the bullet hole is nice and straight. So that means that they are not going to keyhole in the suppressor and have a bad day. Got lock back, right around 950, standard deviation of 15. Not too shabby from a subsonic load, if I do say so myself, although that's what 300 Blackout was designed around. And now on to our 10.5-inch. I do believe this has a 1-in-8 twist from what I can see stamped on the barrel. Again, from Palmetto State Armory. Through the 030 on this one. Picked up a little bit of velocity, but it's still subsonic. Ejection pattern wise, not too shabby. I don't run adjustable gas blocks on these, so we're getting right around 3 o'clock ejection, so I'd say that's pretty darn good for a subsonic. And now on to Mr. Long and Strong. This is our 16-inch. I don't know of a lot of people who run 16-inch with subsonics. Generally, you're going to want to run supers with that for maximum velocity gain. But again, it's a common barrel length, so that's why I try to cover it when I do these reviews. So I've got that full spectrum, 1-in-8 twist, again, a PSA build. Now those are riding that supersonic line. We've got 1074 on the Garmin, 1089 in the Rangecraft, and 1067 on there. So right around 11:15, 11:30, if you hear a crack in the video as the bullet fires, that means we're breaking that sound barrier. That one should have been pretty close. Oh, actually, that one didn't want to feed. So you should have heard that one go. that one as well. So I would definitely advise these if you want to remain subsonic. Don't go any longer than a 12-inch barrel, and probably not let them sit out in the sun all day long. So when the colder temperatures, they should drop a little bit, but not too shabby for a factory, very economical loading. Now, just so nobody gets their panties in a twist, here is our 200 grain super suppressor at 25 yards using 10.5-inch suppressed from a bag on our little table today. Our first group was 0.721 inches, and our second group opened up a little bit at 1.146 inches. These are 5-shot groups fired in fair succession, that is using the 6-power optic. So not too shabby at close up, but when we get out to more distance than 50 yards, those group sizes tend to open up. Like I mentioned, it's around 85 to 90 degrees outside today. Well, folks, I think this is proof enough that for our subsonics, I need to acquire a 1-in-5 twist barrel. This was our 10.5-inch at 100 yards, 4.378 inches. Nothing too good to write home about. I think maybe I pulled that one. I only have a 6-power optic, but we're in a lead sled on a bench. It's about 85 degrees outside today. We got the 16-inch out, and the group size basically halved. Had I not pulled that one, it would have been a lot smaller, but 2.341 inches. That 16-inch, I do believe, is 1-in-8. So that goes to show you that I think I need to get a faster twist rate for that shorter barrel length so we can impart a better spin on that longer barrel, or on those longer projectiles. Of course, your mileage may vary. They are PSA uppers, so someone could argue that the barrel is probably not the greatest, but there you have it. Now it's time to see what this bullet will do in gel. We've got our 6x6x16 10% clear ballistics gel block down there, and it's synthetic. Typically, from what I understand, versus organic, is our synthetic is going to give us more expansion and a little less penetration compared to the organic. So you should never compare those two results. Again, these are just kind of a way to see what the particular bullet is going to do. We shot this in 350 Legend, at least this particular bullet, and it expanded out. So I'm curious how this 300 Black will do. So a big thank you to Clear Ballistics Gel. We'll take 2 shots if we can. I think I shot. Now, I shot these a little low unintentionally, but for the most part, I think we're gonna save our gel blocks until maybe we can get a 1-in-5 and see if that helps. But we have the entire 16 inches of the first block, absolutely no penetration. That is just a straight line ice pick wound channel. Then we get through the second block here, and it looks like it finally starts tumbling. There is the tumble right there, and then it actually went through this additional block and kept going. So that's 38 inches plus of penetration on that round. Probably not something I'm going to want to use for any type of terminal effect. Again, at least until I can test in a 1-in-5. But that's probably why it's more so for just range use and not marketed as any type of expansion. Again, people seem to think that a lot of subsonic ammunition will expand, but usually it does not unless it's purposely built to do it. Some of the copper hollow points will, and that's the advantage to them. So kind of disappointing considering that the 350 Legend did, but I wonder if that's because the frontal area of that 350 Legend bullet is a lot fatter than the streamlined 30 cal. Well, folks, there you have it. Overall, I'm very impressed with this particular load from Winchester, especially if you're looking at picking up Subsonic 300 Blackout on the cheap. I think I've picked this up quite a few times from Palmetto State Armory for although I'm going to bleep that out because YouTube doesn't like me including the prices in any of my videos. As far as our velocity goes, we remain subsonic in our 7.5-inch and 10.5-inch, but we started to ride that supersonic line in the 16-inch. Although I'm not sure how many people use a 16-inch for subsonic use. Mainly, I would think that is reserved for our supersonic. As far as our accuracy goes, again, I'm using PSA barrels, and people have commented quite a few times that I probably should find better barrels. So if you guys have those comments below on where I can get a quote-unquote better barrel for better precision, let me know. You know, we went up to about 25 yards and we're getting some good groups, but usually once we step out to 100 yards with our subsonic lines, those groups tend to open up. Now, the disappointing part of this test was the gel test. I've tested this particular bullet in our 350 Legend in our clear ballistics gel, and we actually got expansion out of that and pretty good penetration. This particular bullet, I'm guessing because the nose wasn't as wide as it is on 350 Legend, didn't cause any of this to actually open up and expand. So we had lots and lots of penetration, but little to no terminal effect. Although the box does say that it is, you know, more of an open tip match target plinking around. I was just mainly curious if I could get that to do any kind of terminal effect on our ballistics gel block. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who helped make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. A big thank you to Amy and Deacon. Deacon would like to remind you all to like and subscribe these videos to get that logarithm working for us and not against us. An honorable mention is that dog you may see in the background there causing all kinds of problems because she likes to play ball when we're out here. Number two are my Patreon and YouTube channel members. I have a campsite in the description below. It's a landing page with different affiliate links and discount tracking codes in there, and they cost you nothing. And what I do with that is I put it right back in the channel. I'm never one to push sales your guys' way. You know, I try to use all these products that I have, and if I think they're a good product, I like to mention them. And what I do with all that money is I put it right back in the channel by buying ammunition or buying those gel blocks, because those cost a lot of money. As an example, I do have a discount code for Shell Shock. They offer different types of ear protection. I like these over most of the walkers because of the upgraded gel cups. So when I wear these all day long, I don't get as many headaches as I do with the regular foam cups. And of course, number three is you all for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you at the range.